Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, Millennial Mom, for Married at First Sight, Season 14, Boston. Now before we get into these couples and what happened on this episode, I do want to apologize for us not completing Season 13, but you know what? It was a lost cause anyways.
Well, I don't think we have to apologize, but since you did, you know, if you've been with us for a while or just even know the story, you know that I was going through a health crisis. I'm still kind of going through that crisis, but I'm on the mend now, so things are looking up. So hopefully we will be back for review every episode this season.
Yes, that is the goal.
Yes.
But this season so far, I don't know, because when we saw the poster, the premiere image, whatever that thing's called, for Married at First Sight, Season 14, Mom said it's kind of giving me Season 12 with Christopher and Paige and all that.
I mean, first of all, nobody wants to hear about Christopher and Paige anymore, but...
I said in all them.
Or whoever. But the thing is, when I saw the picture, I was like, oh no, not another party picture, because that's exactly what their season was. You know how they portrayed, you know, with the ooh-wee, and I'm like,
I remember.
Here we
no,
go.
You weren't like that, because when I first saw that picture, I was like, But you were like, give it a chance. But now look at her, came around. Well, you know, without any further ado, let's get into these couples. Mom, who is the first couple you want to talk about?
Well, before I talk about these couples, let's just say that we did watch the matchmaking special, and unlike any other season that we reviewed and the ones that we haven't reviewed, I'm not making any choices this season. It will be week to week because, listen,
last season,
the season before, and on, you really can't tell. I mean, come on now. But there's a few individuals who I just sat there and just shook my head like, here we go again. So,
well, you know I'm not making a prediction, obviously.
That's you. All right, so, you know, for the first season, or not the first season, for the first episode or two, I'm going to have to use my glasses and notes because we don't know them all the way just yet.
Just yet.
But let me get my glasses on and tell you who we're going to start with. All right, so we're going to start with Lindsey and Mark.
All right, I got to find the picture. Oh, yes.
And let me already go ahead and say, I just sat there and shook my head the entire matchmaking special through the wedding.
Through the wedding.
Yep.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really have too much to say about this couple just yet. The only thing I'm going to say is she seems a little...
She's a mess.
A little wild, a mess. Like, how are you already drunk? Well, people done that before.
People do it all the time.
At the wedding, and then she's laying on the bench. Like, girl, you just met this man. Like, what kind of impression are you giving Shark Daddy?
And she don't like that either. She said, who? I'm not going to be called no Mrs. Shark, nothing. But here's my thing, though. When I first got to know her through the specials and through this episode, again, because, you know, they just do recap, and we sat there for 3 hours for nothing.
You know how this goes.
I know. So, anyways, I was like, one, in my opinion, she talks too much.
Homegirl, you talk too much.
Hey.
You never shut up. Who sang that song?
Run DMC. That's for the old heads out there.
I thought that was Kaya.
Girl, bye. That's the millennial. Anyway, she talked too much. But I'm like, here we go again with the cats. Now, we already had a cat match 2 seasons ago. I'm like, here we go. And she, you know, I just think that she has a lot of things she needs to work on, personally.
Don't they all?
Yeah, they always do. But... you know, they need to change this show name to Married at First Sight to Counseling at First Sight or something.
But they don't counsel. You know that too.
I know. Well, maybe this season will be different because I did see some upcoming clips.
No.
Shout out to Courtney and Eddie because I saw the clips on their channel, their IG. But, you know, she doesn't have a good relationship with her mom. She has a better relationship with her dad. And, you know, she is one of 2 women on here who were just recently engaged a year ago. So here's my thing. Again, how did you pass the vetting session?
Well, I will give a little bit of kudos. At least it's a year and not 6 months.
That's true, but it sounds like you holding on, but that's just me. Now, Mark, you know, he wants...
Shark Daddy.
he wants a relationship too. He reminds me of, I'm not even gonna say that. I'll say that for another time. But Mark, I like his heart though. You know, he wants to be that he's the only child. He's there for his mom, who's in a rehab facility, and he's there for his grandmother, who's also in a rehab facility. And his mother, you know, I don't remember what she's being treated for, but his grandmother has Alzheimer's, so his grandmother doesn't even recognize him anymore. So, you know, that takes a lot out of you to, one, know that a family member doesn't recognize who you are, but they're both in facilities. You try to go there every day, plus work. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know when he's going to have time for her, because, see, with all her extra, and I'm being nice about when I say extra, I don't know if that's going to work out, and we'll have to see, but she needs to tone it down a whole bunch of notches, but that's just me.
Well, before we move on to the next couple, I want to know your opinion. How do you feel about him not making it the first time, but coming back around again?
Oh, that's right. That's right. First of all, what was you doing in between time from you signed up for the show the first time with Jasmina to now? Like, you were still single doing all this stuff, and you still want to apply for Married at First Sight? I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I don't necessarily care for that. There's something to that, to me.
Well, you think he just wants to be on TV?
I don't know. They all eventually want to be on TV with their IGs and stuff that come about later. But anyways, moving on. So we have Katina and Olajuwon.
Let me find who they are.
You know Olajuwon at the bachelor party.
Yeah.
Mr. You know, he said he go by the name Isaac. I was like, listen, Isaac. You know, well, you know, some of us have gone along with a fake name, you know, along the way, I guess, you know, if you weren't serious about somebody. But the thing is, the way he was getting at the bachelor party and just his persona, that don't match up to me about what he really wants. He still gives me Playboy vibes.
What do you call the strip club? His habitat?
Yes, his habitat. He said he was in his element.
His element?
Same thing.
I want to know, how did he get on the stage with them strippers? Because if he went to a strip club, you know you can't go on stage. You can't
Well,
even
clearly it's
Don't
not.
ask me how I know.
I'm not. But clearly it's not here in Vegas. But
He looked like he borrowed the show too.
That's why I said he looked like he was part of the show, because at the end he gave like the hey, like we did this. Like, nah.
No, you didn't do nothing. Because if I was someone there, I'd be like, ooh, what show he on? They'd be like, oh, Married at First Sight. I'm like, who?
Isaac?
I don't think so. I would hate to be his wife.
But you know what though? I just find it fascinating how, you know, and he's not even, is he the youngest one? I don't know.
I think so. If he's close to Jeppy's age,
He's 29, so I think he's the youngest one out the bunch. But, you know, like I said, to me, his values right now aren't lining up as to why he wants to be married. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have, well, I guess you could. You have to have the right partner to have that same, you know, you want to go out and kick it and all the other stuff. But his match, Katina, in her matchmaking special, even again, she said that she wants to leave all that stuff behind. You know, that she has always been like a side chick for some reason, but didn't know it. Like, her boyfriends have always been in other relationships, things like that. And she's trying to come out that party scene. And it don't seem like he's left that party scene. So I don't see how they're a match.
I don't see how they're a match either. I don't even know how the experts thought he was ready to even embark on this journey.
Well, you know, I did write down something for Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal, when he gave his 2 cents, said that they're both compatible because they grew up in single-family households. Okay.
I wish I would get paired with somebody like that just because I came from a single-family household. Now, I don't mind
not all
being,
your life. Not all your life, but most of your life.
I don't mind being out, but
Right.
I don't want you over here showing out and you're not even getting paid for it. Come on.
Well, you come from a different single-parent household. I don't care how old you are. But anyway.
Well, do you think Katina's ready?
You know what? See, she's giving up this lifestyle, but I think she also, like I said, most people on here need some type of counseling. I just think maybe I just don't think that this is the best match for her. Do I think she's ready? Kinda. I don't know. We'll have to see as the show goes on.
All right, who's next?
The next couple is Noy and Steve. I hope I'm saying your name right, Noy. If not, I will by Week 3.
All right, I don't know too much about this couple because I'm not gonna lie, I will sleep through most of the matchmaking special. But is he the one that doesn't have a job?
He's the one that doesn't have a job, but he lost his job during when the first
The
pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he worked in computers or something, so he just decided to take his little nest egg and just travel the world like that. And I don't see nothing wrong with that, because clearly he had a nest egg to travel the world. And, you know, you always need healthcare and IT. So when he gets back to work, hopefully he does soon, you know, he can get set back up again.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve is also the baby of the family. Like, all his brothers and sisters are married. And they say his mom's nickname is Mrs. Worry. And I'm like, oh my goodness. If your mama's nickname is Miss Worry, you can't tell her nothing. Because parents naturally worry anyways, but I mean, I don't want that to be my nickname. You know what I'm saying? It seems like she's just rocking back and forth all the time. Like, she always nervous.
Nickname, though.
No, it's not. But you know what? Noy, now see, this is the opposite for me. I think that she may not necessarily be ready either right now, because see, she's had a habit of following her boyfriends around. Like, one was from London or somewhere in England. She followed him around, and then she moved to Mexico for another one of them and stuff like this. So I don't feel like she's ready to, she might be ready to settle down, but how do you go from all that to, you know, in my opinion, to want to be on Married at First Sight? Like, again, how does this get you vetted for the show? If it took Mark a couple seasons to get on the show, how did you get on the show talking about, oh yeah, I followed my boyfriend here and here, and it just didn't work out?
That's giving me 90 Day Fiance vibe.
Don't
But they are the same producers.
Well,
on the show, so
there it is.
she on the wrong show.
Well, you know what? Both families are supportive. So I think Steve's family is more supportive than most men that's been on the show, because his family's like, it's about time. So again, we'll see how that plays out.
But then again, you said he's traveling. I guess what the experts saw, she likes to follow people around. He travels. Match right there. See, we could be an expert.
The next couple is Jasmina and Michael. I believe it's pronounced Jasmina. Again, if I pronounce your name wrong, by week 3 I'll have your name right. It's got an A at the end, so I believe it's Jasmina. Now, this is something I found interesting. Jasmina said that she wanted a man taller than her. Mm-hmm. And Michael said he wanted a woman shorter than him, yet curvy. Okay, they didn't get that.
You don't see the match?
No, I don't. Now, once again, I'm going to jump around a little bit. The match, based on experts, is because they both want families, and they've both experienced some type of tragedy growing up. Like, her father was incarcerated from time she was little to adulthood, and then Michael lost his father, his mother, and his grandmother in a short period of time. So, you know, they have that to fall back on.
So they're trauma bonding them?
I don't know. That's just what they gave. So, I mean,
that's not cool.
Well, but they also come from big families too. So that could be for it. You know, they come from big families, and maybe the bond that they have with their families to make their own bond with their own family.
Yeah, but see, they tried that with, what's her name from last season?
We don't want
Marilyn and Gil, and we saw how that worked out. So their formula is not working, and they need to switch their formula. But hey, it's giving them views because it's dramatics.
Yeah, I think Jasmina, excuse me, girl. I think Jasmina is attractive. I really do. And I think Michael will find her attractive too. But here's the downfall for me. Michael says, and even his family says, it takes him a while to warm up. You know, he's got to get to know you, which is nothing wrong with that. Most people, you know, well, not most people, a lot of people do that. It takes a while to get to know someone to warm up. But not when you come on this show, though, because the process is so quick. You don't have time to be reserved. I mean, when are you going to come out your shell?
Week 8.
Reminds me of another Michael.
Now, speaking of the other Michael, do you think his sisters will get in the way or try to butt in a lot with the relationship?
I don't think they'll get in the way. I just think that he'll take probably a lot more advice, like be a lot more like, hey, what do you think about this particular situation? Because he's not used to dealing with someone in a long-term relationship, because he said with any small little thing that he sees wrong, nope, relationship got to go. So he has like issues when it comes to that too. But he's so close with his sisters that bond looks really tight. And then you get to Jasmina's side. She's really close with her stepmom, even though it's not her stepmom technically anymore because her and her dad divorced. But they're still, have that type of bond. So, which is a good thing. Like the stepmom still came up and still raised them and stuff like that. But her family seems to be supportive. But with Jasmina, I give her, and there's nothing wrong with this. And it's a different type of maintenance when I say this. She comes across a little high maintenance to me. Not the Mirla high maintenance, but a different kind of high maintenance. Like you like nicer things too. She don't give me the snot vibe.
Oh, okay.
The snot vibes, I should say. Like
We know
Mirla
what you
gave.
mean.
Like Mirla gave the I'm too good kind of vibes in my opinion. I don't get that from Jasmina. But another thing about Jasmina is she has a daughter. This is the
That's
first.
interesting.
This is the first and married at first. First and married at first sight, but it is.
It's a married at first sight first.
Okay, I said
in
it
the words
backwards.
of Pastor Cal.
Correct. So I wonder if he'll get to meet her daughter. I mean, the process is so fast. I mean, technically it's your husband.
Why you say it like that?
Because technically it's your husband.
Who is the next couple? The last one?
The last couple is Alyssa or Alicia. Again, by week 3 I'll have your name right. And Chris. Now, the thing that I recognize with Chris is he plays, golf frisbee? Now, I've seen those things like in parks.
At the park.
And I'm like, what are those things for? Really? Golf frisbee? But we'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he tells his mom he's getting married. Mom don't seem like she with it. She's like, she don't understand how he could even think about marrying a stranger. And I get that, because some people are like, oh, yeah. But sometimes I think people come on this show for the process. Because sometimes when they tell their family, the family kind of already knows. But Chris's mom didn't know nothing.
I wonder why. With that kind of vibe.
I know.
I wouldn't tell her nothing
He
either.
comes from a single household too. But one thing that he's a successful real estate agent. And he says he has so much to give, so much to share. He wants to share that with his wife too. And then we get to Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
She says
You done said that girl's name 2 different ways.
Whatever. By week 3, I'll have it down right. Alyssa, Alicia, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's a country girl at heart. She was also in a relationship and was devastated when they broke up.
I mean, that's the experts' fault. We got nobody to blame but the experts. They know what they're doing. They do this for ratings.
Right.
There's no reason why someone who just got a relationship 6 months to a year is on this show. And she's still heartbroken.
But here's the thing. It's okay because I've always said, they should at least be out of a relationship for a year. I have to make an addendum to that or a comma. 6 months to a year without being engaged, about to walk down the aisle. Because it's 2 women and you make it. Listen, I'm not trying to be upset about this mess no more. Here's my thing with that. I think Michael will be, he comes across as a good guy, but he also across a little slightly possessive. And Alyssa, whichever, she gives the country girl vibe, but at the same time, she says she likes to spend money. And Chris is very frugal.
Oh, Lord. That never works out.
So,
never.
It's okay, again, to like the finer things in life, but you got to be matched with your match. That's all I got to say.
I mean, we've been doing this for how many seasons now?
Enough.
Like 4 seasons?
Enough, but we've been watching Married at First Sight since the very beginning with Jamie and what's his name? I forgot her husband's name already. But with Jamie in that section since season 1.
And I don't know why they match these couples like this. They know it's not going to work. Well, they think they got a 5 out of 5. Y'all thought that with last season too.
They think that every season. But hey.
I guess you gotta send 10 toes down somewhere.
I guess so. So, also in this episode, we see, which we talked about a little bit with Olajuwon / Isaac. What we gonna call him this year?
It depends on the next few episodes.
Depends on what he looking like. But anyways, they did the bachelor party and they did the bachelorette party. Now, the bachelorette party looked like it was a dud. But the person that made it a dud in her own way was Alicia, whatever her name is. I don't know. I'm sorry. But she was sitting in the corner with her friends talking about, this is not what I do. This is not what I like. This is not my scene. When you had, let me look at my paper, y'all. What's her name? Lindsey was cutting the rug, cutting the food. Right?
That seems like that's going to be her thing.
Right. And Noy was out there, dancing because everyone thought she was quiet. Mm-hmm. And then Jasmina and Katina, they were doing regular stuff. But you know what? They kept going to the confessional with Lindsey. I'm like, why are we talking to Lindsey? See, Lindsey, she's a mixture of different people to me. She's a mixture of Olivia and a Virginia. And if you think about Virginia, if you watched before, you know what? Cheers, 2022.
Well, hey, we just have to keep watching her. She might be the female Chris.
So moving on to the only wedding, even though we touched on it a little bit briefly, with Lindsey and stuff like that. She was, again, this is where I was like, ooh, she is a mess. Okay, it's okay you have to use the bathroom before you get married, stuff like that. I mean, she drinking her soda, she burping, she
drunk.
She looking for her vows. She pulled down her dress. She's like showing her breasts and stuff. I'm like, girl, come on. Now, this is first impression, not just to your husband, even though he didn't see this, but to the viewer. We can only go by off what we see. And so far, what I see, isn't it?
Maybe she wants to make like a name for herself so she can be on like a spinoff or something. Just to show like, hey, I'm fun.
A spinoff? What, couple scam? They gotta be a couple first.
Couple scam? A host? You never know. That's what I'm thinking if she's already acting like this, like day one.
I guess. Well, you know what? When he finally gave her ring and he said the vows, stuff like that, didn't seem like the ring fit. I mean, like, you didn't give the correct ring size, not like your shoe size,
Maybe she didn't know. Some people don't know their ring size.
You're supposed to get size because she kept making references to like, ooh, his ring is big. That means he's got girth. I hope he has girth somewhere else. See, she kept talking about, a little bit of sex talk, but, in his confessionals in the matchmaking special, he said he wanted to make someone's toes curl, so I guess they're both kind of ready to make each other's toes curl. But the thing that got me of the whole situation so far, because, they haven't done the reception yet, is after the vows, when they went back to, get to know each other, stuff like that, and they're talking and everything else, in Mark's confessional, he's like, whew, she's a lot. I'm like, a lot. Today is just day one, not even one, half a day.
He already taking back the champagne.
Listen, you got 8 weeks to go.
He's gonna make it. He's Shark Daddy. He got this.
Okay.
You can't have that personality and try to be shocked that someone else got a little bit of personality too.
I guess. I'm taking my glasses off now. His personality is kind of like out there to me too, but
he gives me loud vibes. Like he's someone who's loud, like go Boston, something like that.
Yeah, he gives me loud vibes too. Not my cup of tea for one of many reasons. But I mean, if he's saying she's loud, listen. I just met you. You a stranger, so that says a lot.
That's just you. That's not how other people on Married at First Sight go. That's why you can't be on Married at First Sight.
I wouldn't be. But anyway,
because you'd be ready to go day one.
I wouldn't first be on there. So, anyways, well, what you think about this 3-hour unnecessary episode? Since we saw the majority of this on the matchmaking special, anyway.
I thought it was boring. The first episode's always boring. I did think we were going to get a wedding and like a half a wedding to see who was going to be next. But we only got one. So I'm like, oh, they skipping out on the footage. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen this season. But Mom's not going to make a prediction. But I'm going to make a prediction. Do I think all the couples are going to make it? No. Steve and Noy, I don't really know too much about them. But I'm going to say maybe. Because she likes to follow people around. So this might work out. Jasmina and Michael, no, because of the height difference. I mean, if it's not someone you're attracted to, they're not going to be together. They just want to get their followers up.
Yeah, but hopefully the height difference shouldn't make that big of a difference.
It's going to make a difference. Alyssa and Chris, maybe. I'm going to give them a maybe as well. Mark and Lindsey, no. Two loud people, they can be together. But Mark, he seems like he wants someone who's more so on the quiet side. He wants a little baby who's gonna listen. Lindsey not gonna listen.
No, I don't think he wants a quiet side. I think he wants a little bit of a quieter side. But I also think that he has to find a way to balance splitting time with work, visiting his mom, his grandma, and giving time to your new wife.
Well, someone would have to be understanding in that situation. Lindsey does not give me she's gonna be 100% understanding. She's gonna be like, I gotta put me first.
Yeah.
You know? Olajuwon, aka Isaac, and Katina, no. No. Because he's not ready.
Because his girl don't want to party all the time. Party all the time.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with partying and going to strip clubs if that's something that you're into, but she's not into that anymore. And
Right.
he wants someone that's into that, so he's probably going to think she's boring. And he's already, didn't he say he was like a cheater or something? Or maybe I saw that online.
I think he said he was reformed.
A reformed cheater.
Okay.
No. And that's it.
That's it for this week.
There it is. I'm a stick to it for the whole season.
Okay. Well, I'm sticking to mine too. Week to week.
All right, so let us know what you guys thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Even though they didn't really give us too much, just let us know what you think about the couples this season. Do you think they're gonna last? Do you think it's gonna be like a season 13, another dud? Let us know in the comments down below.
Don't forget to give this video a like, a share. Thank you again for all of you for sticking with us through these times. And to all the YouTubers, Courtney and Eddie, Chloe Johnson, Saskels, Romel, and anybody else I forgot, we appreciate you. Thank you all again for watching. And as always, live simply, be grateful.